In the heart of Europe lies a country whose peaceful appearance hides many unexpected traditions. People may keep a carp in the bathtub before Christmas, drink beer served almost entirely as foam, and step into doorless elevators that never stop moving time. 3s. Beneath Prague, there are also ancient rooms that once stood level with the streets above, while beyond the city lie thousands of castles, mushroom-filled forests, and festivals that have survived for generations' time. Before we begin, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and tell us in the comments what makes you most curious about the Czech Republic. Now, let us look beyond the familiar images of this country. Number 15. When higher education coexists with a controversial industry. Many people still think the Czech Republic is little more than Prague, inexpensive beer, and Trdelník. Yet that familiar image may represent only about 10% of the country time. The remaining story is found in places rarely discussed, where a highly educated society exists, alongside industries that surprise many outsiders. With a literacy rate of roughly 99%, the Czech Republic is regarded as one of Europe's well-educated nations. At the same time, it has also become one of the continent's major centers for adult film production. By 2026, the country was reported to have the highest number of adult film performers per capita in the world, with more than 70 performers for every 1 million residents. In central Prague, you could walk past a well-known performer without recognizing them. After living in the city long enough, you might even discover that someone you know works as a performer, producer, or camera operator in the industry. Czech people sometimes joke that their country exports 3 famous products: beer, crystal, and women seen on screen. The joke reflects a relatively open attitude towards sexuality, fewer religious restrictions, and the common image of Czech women as having Slavic facial features combined with the tall, athletic build, often associated with Germans. Number 14. A journey through the most beautiful castles of the Czech Republic. Although its land area is only about the same as South Carolina or Scotland, the Czech Republic has more than 2,000 castles and chateaux, giving it one of the highest castle densities in the world. In many places, a drive of only about 20 minutes is enough to see a fortress rising out of the landscape. 3s. In Prague, Prague Castle stands out on the skyline and is recognized by Guinness as the largest ancient castle complex in the world. The Circuit B ticket takes visitors into the old royal palace and Golden Lane, where the small, colorful houses were once used by guards and goldsmiths. After the tour, taverns in Hradčany serve beef sirloin in cream sauce, a familiar Sunday dish in many Czech families. Leaving the capital, a short train ride brings you to Karlštejn Castle, a Gothic stronghold built by Emperor Charles IV to protect royal treasures and crown jewels. After the uphill walk, a hot bowl of wild boar soup feels like a well-earned reward. Farther south, Český Krumlov appears beside a bend in the Vltava River, with its Renaissance castle looking down over red-tiled roofs. In South Moravia, Lednice Palace sits among landscaped gardens and artificial lakes. Ending the journey with Palava wine and pork schnitzel completes the Moravian experience. Number 13. Prague, a modern city, built over an older one. At the heart of the country, Prague is the first stop for most travelers visiting the Czech Republic. The city lies in the northern inland region, yet few people realize that the streets beneath their feet now stand higher than the rooftops of the old city once did. During the 13th century, Prague suffered repeated and severe flooding. To protect its residential areas, the king ordered the entire street level to be raised by several feet, leaving many old rooms, corridors, and chapels buried deep underground. Today, visitors can still descend beneath the old town and walk through spaces that stood at street level about 800 years ago. Along the streets, Small brass Stolperstein stones are placed in front of former homes to commemorate victims of the Holocaust. When your feet begin to tire, the best way to continue exploring Prague is to use its public transportation system, which is famous for running on time. Local residents even joke that they can set their watches by the trams. Instead of taking a taxi in the city center, visitors can buy a 24-hour travel pass for about $5. Tram number 22 is especially useful because it passes the National Theatre before gradually climbing toward the castle, offering what feels like a city tour at a very low cost. Number 12. Religion, history, and Czech national pride. As you travel through towns across the Czech Republic, you can easily find beautiful Baroque churches on many street corners. Yet on Sundays, most of their interiors are almost empty. The country is among the least religious in the world, with nearly 80% of the population not following any specific religion. This does not mean Czech people have no beliefs. Most simply choose to live by the principle of live and let live, while viewing faith as a private matter that does not need to be discussed publicly. Their cautious attitude toward religion and powerful institutions developed over centuries of Habsburg rule and was later reinforced during the communist era. In conversation, local people may politely change the subject when someone asks too many questions about their personal beliefs. There is something, however, that may offend them even more: calling the Czech Republic an Eastern European country. On the map, Prague is actually located west of Vienna, while the Bohemian region lies close to the center of the continent. For many Czech people, the term Eastern Europe brings back memories of the Cold War and the period when their country was under Soviet influence. Culturally, the Czech Republic combines the discipline and technical mindset often associated with Germany with the adaptability of the Slavic world. So, Central Europe is correct, the heart of Europe is also correct, but Eastern Europe is absolutely not. If you are still traveling with us, subscribe to the channel. One small action from you will help make more journeys like this possible. Thank you. Now, let us continue. Number 11. Czech beer culture and Kofola. In many traditional village pubs, a pint of draft beer can sometimes cost less than a small bottle of Coca-Cola or bottled water. But drinking beer here is not simply about quenching your thirst, it is almost an art form. Czech people consider the thick, creamy foam an essential part of the drink because it limits the beer's contact with the air and helps preserve its flavor until the final sip. When ordering beer, you can choose Hladinka, the classic pour with a balanced combination of beer and foam that creates a smooth, easy drinking experience. Schnitt is a smaller serving of beer in a large glass filled with more foam, making it ideal when you want to join another round without ordering a full glass. Mlíko consists almost entirely of white foam, with a sweet and smooth taste, and is usually consumed quickly like a dessert at the end of the evening. Alongside beer, Kofola is a dark carbonated drink that local people are especially fond of. It was created during the Cold War, when Coca-Cola and Pepsi were difficult to obtain behind the Iron Curtain. Czech scientists developed an alternative using caffeine extracted from roasted grains and a secret blend of herbs. Kofola tastes less sweet than American cola, with strong notes of herbs, licorice, and citrus. Although Western brands returned long ago, many Czech people still choose Kofola, turning a product created during a time of scarcity into a familiar part of the country's culture. Number 10. The darkest stories in Prague's history. Czech people are often considered calm and moderate, yet their history records an extraordinary response to political conflict, throwing people out of windows. This act has its own name, defenestration, and it changed the course of Central European history More than once time threesis. In 1419, angry Hussites stormed Prague's new town hall and threw several council members from the windows. The event helped ignite the Hussite Wars. In 1618, Protestant nobles also threw 2 royal officials and their secretary from the 3rd floor of Prague Castle, in protest against the policies of the Catholic Habsburg rulers. So, when a political argument in Prague becomes intense, keeping your distance from the windows may still be the safer choice. Behind this dark humor is the practical way Czech people view death. At the Sedlec ossuary in Kutná Hora, an unassuming chapel contains chandeliers, pyramids, and decorative arrangements made from human bones, time quartz threes. This structure was not created to frighten visitors, but to serve as a memento mori, a reminder that everyone will eventually die. In Brno, the St. James Ossuary offers a less crowded alternative. It holds the remains of more than 50,000 people and is considered the second largest ossuary in Europe after the Paris catacombs, although it remains relatively unknown among international travelers. Number 9. Czech weekend cottage culture. On Friday afternoons, Prague changes quickly. Offices close early, the streets become quieter, and the highways leading out of the capital gradually fill with cars. Where is everyone going? They are returning to their country homes. In the Czech Republic, this culture is known as chalupa or chata, depending on the type of house, and the country has one of the highest rates of vacation home ownership per person in the world. The tradition began during the communist era, when traveling abroad was difficult and nearly impossible for most people. Instead of visiting Paris or the Mediterranean coast, families saved their money for small houses in the countryside. Decades later, even though Czech people are now free to travel almost anywhere, the habit has not disappeared. Their ideal weekend does not require a luxury hotel or a famous attraction. It may simply involve wearing old clothes, driving into the forest, splitting firewood, repairing a fence, tending the garden, and roasting sausages over a fire. Inside these homes, Czech people find privacy, a closer connection to nature, and a sense of independence. Families work together, children learn practical skills, and friendships grow stronger over simple meals. To understand a Czech person, ask about their house in the countryside, and the conversation may continue for hours. Number 8. The mushroom basket and the secret that is never revealed. During the fall, if you travel through the Czech countryside, you may notice many cars parked along quiet roads with no owners in sight. They have not disappeared time. Threes. They are deep in the forest gathering mushrooms. For Czech people, this is more than a seasonal hobby. It is almost a national passion. Doctors, politicians, homemakers, and families with young children may all carry baskets into the woods on weekends. This tradition continues partly because of the country's freedom to roam rights, which allow people to walk through most forests, including some privately owned areas, to collect mushrooms and berries. If you see a Czech person leaving the forest with a full basket, do not ask where the mushrooms were found. That location is often protected like a family secret and is rarely shared with outsiders. Simply smile and congratulate them on a successful trip. Time. Behind this seemingly simple habit is a deep and lasting connection with nature. During many periods of history, forests provided shelter, food, and a sense of freedom when other rights were restricted. Mushroom gathering is therefore not only about bringing food home, it is also a way for Czech people to remain connected to the land, pass practical knowledge to the next generation, and preserve a part of their identity that has survived for centuries. Number 7. The unusual Christmas traditions of Czech people. A few days before Christmas, if you enter the bathroom of a Czech family, and find a large live carp swimming in the bathtub, there is no need to be too surprised. According to tradition, many families buy live carp from street vendors and keep the fish in the bathtub for several days before Christmas Eve dinner. Children often give the carp a name, watch it swim, and sometimes even treat it like a temporary pet. As a result, the moment when the adults remove the fish to prepare the meal can become surprisingly emotional. Today, many younger families no longer keep carp in the bathtub, but during December, large tanks filled with live carp can still be seen on many street corners in Prague. At the table, fried carp is usually served with Czech-style potato salad, made from potatoes, carrots, peas, pickles, eggs, and sometimes ham or sausage, all mixed with mayonnaise. Every family protects its own recipe and believes its version tastes the best. Teens. Before dinner, people often wait for the first star to appear in the sky. An apple is then cut across the middle to reveal the shape of its core. If the core forms a star, the coming year is believed to bring good luck. If it forms a cross, people believe that difficulties may lie ahead.
Number 6. Ancient customs that still survive in the modern Czech Republic. During Easter, visitors to the Czech Republic may be surprised to see men and boys going from house to house and gently tapping women's legs with braided willow branches. This ritual is called pomlázka. It comes from an ancient Slavic spring tradition and represents renewal. In old beliefs, the willow was one of the first trees to return to life after winter, so its branches were thought to carry vitality, health, and fertility. Before Easter Monday, men braid willow branches into small switches, decorate them with colorful ribbons, and visit relatives and neighbors. After several symbolic taps, they receive painted eggs, candy, or a glass of slivovitz, a strong plum brandy commonly served during celebrations. In some regions, women respond by chasing the men with buckets of cold water, turning the custom into a shared game. On April 30th, another festival lights up the hillsides. Charodenets, also known as Witch-Burning Night. Communities build straw figures representing winter and burn them on large bonfires. Around the flames, people eat, drink, listen to music, and welcome the return of warmer weather. Although modern Czech society is not strongly religious, its connection to the changing seasons and ancient rituals remains powerful, showing how old traditions continue to live within modern life.
Number 5. When the land of beer created the sobering station. When people think of beer, the Czech Republic is almost always near the top of the list. It is one of the countries with the highest beer consumption per person in the world, where a cold glass of golden lager can sometimes cost less than bottled water. Yet behind the lively pub culture lies a story that few travelers know. Threes, in Prague, psychiatrist Jaroslav Skala established the world's first sobering station in 1951. The facility was created to take in intoxicated people found on the streets, help them recover in a safe and supervised environment, and prevent them from causing accidents or harm to themselves and others. What began as a city-based experiment quickly proved effective, became a reference model for many countries, and spread far beyond Europe. This idea did not reject Czech beer culture. Instead, it showed a willingness to confront the consequences of excessive drinking and address the problem with a practical solution. Threes. That contrast reveals something distinctive about the Czech Republic. It is a society famous for its love of beer, yet it is also the birthplace of a responsible medical system designed to balance personal freedom with responsibility toward the wider community. Number 4. Bohemian Crystal, the Czech Republic's legacy of light. Leaving the crowded beer halls behind, another symbol of the Czech Republic begins to shine. Bohemian Crystal. From sand, fire, and skilled hands, This region became one of the world's most famous centers of glassmaking over many centuries. Time, threes. Since the Middle Ages, Czech artisans have developed techniques for producing crystal with exceptional clarity and the ability to refract light like a precious gemstone. Because of this beauty, Bohemian crystal once appeared on the dining tables of emperors, popes, and European royal families. Brands such as Moser, along with traditional workshops hidden among historic valleys, help turn these creations into symbols of luxury and precise craftsmanship. Inside the workshops, every stage requires almost complete concentration. Craftspeople use their breath to shape molten glass, then cut, polish, and engrave each detail entirely by hand. A single incorrect movement can destroy many hours of work, time, threeses. Each finished piece, therefore, carries its own character and is never exactly identical to another. What makes Czech crystal special is not only its brilliance or fine detail, but also the way a centuries-old craft continues to pass from one generation to the next, remaining alive in every cut and every moment when light passes through the glass. Number 3. Orloj, a time machine in the heart of Prague. In the center of Prague's Old Town Square, the Orloj astronomical clock continues to operate like a machine, carrying viewers back to the Middle Ages. Installed in 1410, it is one of the oldest astronomical clocks in the world that still works after more than 6 centuries' time. Beyond telling time, the Orloj displays the positions of the sun, the moon, and the constellations, while also showing astronomical cycles that once played an important role in European life. Its face resembles a miniature map of the sky set into an ancient tower. Through wars, natural disasters, and countless changes across the city, its iron gears have continued to move under the care of generations of Czech craftsmen. When the bells begin to ring, the crowd below looks upward, almost at the same moment. Small wooden doors open. The 12 apostles appear one by one, and the figure of death nods gently while ringing a bell, reminding everyone that time never stops time. Threes. For a brief moment, the bells, the mechanical movements, and the eyes of thousands of visitors come together, making the entire square seem to slow down. The Orloj is no longer simply an ancient piece of engineering. It has become a place where the past meets the present, and where a ritual repeated for hundreds of years continues to live in the heart of modern Prague. Number 2. Charles Bridge, the egg legend in the heart of Prague. Spanning the Vltava River, Charles Bridge is one of Prague's most recognizable landmarks, and a place that has preserved countless stories through the centuries. Construction began in 1357, and its massive stone blocks have endured floods, wars, and the transformation of the city, times threes accords. According to legend, Emperor Charles IV ordered eggs to be collected from villages across Bohemia and mixed into the mortar to make the bridge stronger. The story was once dismissed as unlikely, but some modern studies have found traces of organic compounds in the ancient mortar, making the legend even more fascinating. Although not every detail has been confirmed, the story still reflects how later generations imagined the creativity of medieval builders. When mist covers the river and golden lights illuminate the statues along both sides of the bridge, the entire place takes on a completely different appearance. 30 statues of saints stand silently in the cold wind, while crowds move slowly across stones that have carried millions of footsteps. Time, threes. Each step across Charles Bridge does more than take visitors from the Old Town to Malá Strana, also known as the Lesser Town. It carries them through the many layers of Prague's history, where architecture, legend, and memory exist together on a bridge that has become an inseparable part of the city. Number 1. A hot spring city among green valleys. Leaving Prague, our journey takes us to Karlovy Vary, a famous spa city nestled among the green valleys of West Bohemia. According to legend, King Charles IV discovered this place in the 14th century, when its natural hot springs began attracting people seeking rest and healing. With pastel neoclassical buildings, elaborately decorated balconies, and covered colonnades, Karlovy Vary looks like a classical stage set in the middle of nature time. Threes. Beneath the city, dozens of hot mineral springs continue to rise from the ground. Visitors come not only to bathe, but also to stroll beneath the colonnades, while holding a flat ceramic cup with a small drinking spout and slowly sipping the warm mineral water. The taste may surprise first-time visitors, but this ritual has remained part of the spa experience for generations. When the city enters the season of the prestigious Karlovy Vary International Film Festival, its quiet streets welcome directors, actors, members of the media, and movie lovers from around the world. Time. Threes. This unique combination of mineral springs, classical architecture, cinema, and nature makes Karlovy Vary more than a place for relaxation. It is also one of the most memorable and emotionally rich destinations in the Czech Republic. As we leave Prague, what remains is more than red rooftops, ancient castles, or glasses of beer crowned with thick foam. The Czech Republic is shaped by smaller things. Time. Threes. A weekend in a cottage deep in the forest. A basket filled with mushrooms. A carp waiting before Christmas dinner. And traditions that continue to survive in modern life. Behind that peaceful appearance is a country that has endured wars, changes in government, and centuries of outside control. Yet its people have preserved their humor, independence, and distinctly Czech way of life. Tell us in the comments what surprised you most. Like the video, and subscribe to the channel as we continue uncovering the lesser-known stories of countries around the world.